Welcome everybody to another meeting of Roseburg speakers and storytellers. No matter where you are in the world, it's 8 o'clock in Oregon. You guys can all remember probably what time it is where you're at. We do have a guest, so thank you for being here, Lauren. Hopefully you'll participate in table topics so we can all get to know you a little better. And we all know the philosophy of Roseburg speakers and storytellers: have fun and learn. With that being said, let's turn it over to our esteemed president who's back. Love to see Yasmin back in our meeting. So go ahead, Yasmin.
Thank you so much, Sergeant of Arms. And indeed, it is a pleasure and a privilege. And the Mondays, which don't start with the Roseburg speakers and storytellers meeting, are a sort of not that okay Mondays. So happy to be back here. I am very excited because we're going to have a wonderful meeting run by a wonderful Toastmaster and a group of fellow role players. But before I start the meeting, I just want to let you all know and extend the official congratulations to Tiger, who participated in District 7 contest and made it as the second runner-up. So congratulations, Tiger. We all are very proud of your achievement. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know this person very well. He is very calm, always smiling, and is one of our newest member to Roseburg speakers and storytellers. He is from China, and if you all remember it well, for a couple of meetings, we had a tough time because he would put his name as Tiger 2. But now he knows that he does not want any competition with Tiger 1, and he has kindly agreed that he will be known to us as Jerry Liu. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Jerry is going to be our Toastmaster for the day, and I'm very excited to hand it over to Jerry. Jerry, please take it over.
Thank you, Yasmin. Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning to different country, different location. I'm so delightful today that I can become the Toastmaster of this new club. And it's my honor I can become a membership officially. Before I'm only bystanders, but today I'm so glad I have made the right decision. Met you guys is the best people I ever met. So very, very good starting point. Tonight is my first Toastmaster role in this club. Today's topic, the main thing is empathy. I'm not sure how many you guys are aware of this word. It is different from the sympathy or compassion. It is empathy. Why we choose these words? Because in today's very, very competing words, so many people felt so stressed out. They just felt they are left out and felt alone. That's why I think empathy is very important. Empathy means you need to feel others' feeling. You need to put yourself into others' perspective, to feel what others feel, to sense what others sense, to see the things from their perspective. Put your position into their shoes. It's not only the sympathy, just oh, I feel sad, I feel so sad with you. No, you also need to share the emotional feeling with others, to stay same with him or her emotionally. So it's very important that if you want to keep with others connected, related, sympathy, empathy is a very, very important factor in today's world. So that's why I choose this thing. In this club, I felt this kind of connection. It simplified me, give me the hint. I choose this one. Okay, so let's move on. So I would like to introduce our grammar to explain the rule of the today. So grammar, Tiger.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. So as a grammarian, I'm going to be looking for excellent or clever uses of the English language, and also for mistakes, which I'm sure there won't be many, and I'm not going to be nitpicky, but if someone makes an obvious grammatical mistake, I will point that out. You all know that there'll be a test at the end of this meeting, so we're going to find out who's listening, and it'll be fun. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Tiger. So today's words is compassion. I hope everyone can try your best to use these words as many as possible. So next.
Sorry about that. Yes, the word of the day is compassion. To be concerned for the welfare of others. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiger. So let's welcome our counter today. Titan, please explain your role.
Thank you, Jerry. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm grateful to be in the meeting today and be the counter. And excuse me for not turning on my camera for today's meeting. My role as the counter is to take note and count the unnecessary words and sounds such as or so, something of the sort. And I would like to offer 2 tips to reduce filler words, which are to slow down a bit and pause when you are aware that you are about to say the filler words. I will present my report when called upon by the General Evaluator. Thank you. Back to you, Jerry.
Thank you, Titin. So let's welcome our timer today. Are you to introduce yourself and the rule?
Yes, thank you, Chair, you Toastmaster of the day. Today I will be serving as your timer on our meeting, and I will be using this color green, yellow, and red. For prepare speech, normally we will have 5 to 7 minutes. Please let me know if I'm wrong, if we have other timing. But green usually at 5 minutes, yellow at 6 minutes, and 7 at red minutes. And every prepared speech speaker has 30 seconds to wrap up their speech after this red color. Because usually prepared speech 5 to 7 minutes. On table topic, and every guest will be invited to participate in table topic, 1 to 2 minutes. Timing for table topic is 1 to 2 minutes. 1 is green, 1:30 yellow, and 2 is red. Again, every speaker will have 30 second grace period to wrap up their speech. The third one is evaluation. So every evaluator will have 2 to 3 minutes, 2 green, 2:30 yellow, and 3 is red. Again, 30 second wrap up. I will report all the timing on the chat or when the general evaluator call upon me at the evaluation session. Jerry, thank you so much, and over to you.
Thank you, Ayu. It's so detailed and so clear. And very good to use the, because I can feel the compassion. So next one, let's welcome our general evaluator, Yasmin, to introduce herself and her role.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. I'll be the general evaluator for the meeting today. We have evaluators to evaluate the speeches, and we have different role players. So as a general evaluator, I will be giving a word to the evaluator for their evaluation, as well as a common generic feedback to all the other role players, and will keep pay close attention to the overall meeting, and will provide you my insights towards the end of the meeting. So looking forward for it. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Yasmin. We are so looking forward to your feedback. Okay, regarding today's meeting, we will separate the three sections. One is prepared speech. The second one is table topic. The third one is evaluation. This is a very important three section for Toastmaster. It is the mechanic to improve our public speaking. So here, I would like to introduce our prepared speaker. Speaker one is Sarah Ruth. His pathway is dynamic leadership. Level 1, researching and presenting. You have 5 to 7 minutes. The project title is The Meaning of Volunteering. So let's welcome Sarah Ruth, right? Sarah Ruth, am I right?
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Jerry. Volunteers are valuable not because of their talent, but because of their time. What do you think about this statement? Fellow Toastmasters and fellow guests, I read this statement in the social media some weeks ago, and it really made me think. Because according to the text, it says that the reason why volunteers stand out in volunteering organizations is that they dedicate so much of their time for it, and it doesn't matter if they are talented or not, if they have some skills to offer or not. And to be honest, I couldn't really believe that this could be true. When I started thinking about my Toastmasters journey, then I had to think that at the very beginning, when I just joined as a member, 3 months later, I was invited to be vice president of membership. For sure, I was not skilled to take over that role, but with the time, I learned how to treat guests, I learned how to get along with new people, etc., even though I was very shy. So I learned from that first leadership position at that time. Then, when I joined RSS, I was able to support the BPPR to get some posts on Instagram and get this club known by some others on social media. At that time, I was again not skilled in these social media techniques and etc. But I was willing to devote my time, and I learned how to use all those tools. After some time, I was also BPE, so Vice President of Education of my club in Berlin, where I was working with the members to try to help them to reach their goals. And at the same time, I was area director here in the district 07. During all those roles, I was learning something important, and I was completing my skills with new learnings and with new experience. So this statement was for me still not really true. But I decided to give some research on how are other volunteering organizations or non-profit organizations doing this with their volunteers. So the first thing that I found in Wikipedia was the list of the largest volunteering organizations in the world. The first one is the United Nations Volunteers. The second is the Red Cross. And the third largest one is the Habitat for Humanity. I also found some arguments on how they work, and they all work somehow in the same way. And this is very interesting because 90% of their people working there are volunteers, but 10% are people hired according to their skills in order to move forward the mission of those organizations. So here I got the first piece of information that I was missing. There is a combination on volunteers and non-volunteers, and this at the end make these organizations successful. I found another good argument to be volunteer and not necessary to be not talented. The reasons are that you can be a volunteer and in despite of your skills or of your professional background, because in these organizations, you will learn other skills. You can learn, for example, communication or other soft skills. You can also learn how to be compassionate with others. And another good reason to be volunteer is that you will be working in teams with people that have very different background than you. So this was my second argument to find out that, yeah, okay, time is very important for volunteers, but developing some skills is also part of the job. Finally, another very good argument in this argumentation, if it's time or it's skilling, the important thing to be a volunteer is that there's a new trend about skill-based volunteering, in which corporations or professionals working in corporations can also work in non-profit organizations, not getting some salaries, but working for free in order to make an impact on the community and on the society. So there are volunteers that work with a professional background that work on their skills. So there is a mix. So to conclude, after my research, I found that both of them are important, as well as both time and skills. And if you don't have the skills, you at least have the courage to try to change something in your community. And that's exactly what I see at Toastmasters. It is very fulfilling to see people start with some speech or with some small role or take over their first leadership role, and then they keep growing and blooming and giving back all that they have learned. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Well, thank you, Sarah. It's so fantastic speech. It's very, very contagious, I think so. I just want to say, to be volunteer, you need to start with compassion mindset. It's very important. Thank you. So let's move to our next section, table topic. I would like to introduce Steven, our table topic master, to host this. Steven.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Are you guys ready for the table topic session? I see you guys are ready. Okay. So let's bring it on. I would like to have the volunteer first. Who wants to try? Anyone?
Me,
Oh, Jasmine. Jasmine, right? Okay,
Are you?
Jasmine. Are you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Are
here.
you okay? Jasmine, you first, okay?
Okay.
So the first table topic is empathy connects us to others. Tell us a story you connect to others because of your empathy. Stage is yours.
Okay. Because I'm a teacher, so most of my stories are about students. 2 years ago, when I walked past a classroom, I saw a crowd of students were yelling, and I came in the classroom and asked what happened. And the student showed me one student. She is a girl. The girl was trying to commit suicide, and I asked this student to come out the classroom and ask her, where do you want to go now? Right here or my office? She answered, right here. Then I was standing with her on the outside the classroom, and she cried and cried, and I didn't say a word because I think in this moment she was in a big sadness. So I think the only one thing I should do is to accompany her. So after a long time, I asked, do you feel good now? She answered, yes. And after that time, the student became to closer with me, and now we are friends. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. That tells us really the power of being empathy. You can save lives. Thank you for the sharing. So next one, I would like to call upon Lorraine. Lorraine, would you like to take the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, so your question is, tell us a story you reduce conflict by being empathetic.
I reduced conflict by when I was in high school, there was this girl who was part of the popular group, and she would sometimes pick on other people and also pick on me. And then one day I saw her alone, and she was actually nice to me, and we had a regular chat, nothing special, just talking about classes, I think English and math, and we worked on our homework together. After that, I had to go because my parents were picking me up. And I decided to not confront her, I guess, for being like, why is she so mean to me? Instead, I just didn't escalate the situation and just talked with her. So we had a good conversation.
Thank you, Lorraine. So that's a good way maybe to teach my child how to avoid the school bullies. Yeah, thank you for the story. Okay, next one. Who would like to take next one? Heidi, are you ready for next one? Okay,
Okay, I can
Heidi. So your question is, tell us a story you build a strong relationship with others by being empathetic.
build a strong relationship with others by being empathetic. I remember I have a colleague that we normally don't like each other at work. Like I don't appreciate the attitude that he present at work. And he feels like a kind of arrogant, how to say, really, he doesn't care what your opinion is, and he feels he's stronger and he's more knowledgeable than me or something like that. That made me feel I do really don't like him. And then later on that we have some project that we have to cooperate together, and as long as we working together, I learned him a little bit that he's not really that arrogant or something like that, but he just being that's the maybe the personality of himself. So also I sometimes also has some kind of that kind of attitude. I picture him like a mirror, that maybe I also like that too. He also feels the same way of me too. So perhaps I can learn to be nice and be good with him as working. And after I change my mindset that I can, and I feel like we're working along together nicely, and he's sometimes also nice too. Don't look at others. So based on that, I think don't look at others on their negative side or disadvantage of something like that. Maybe that as like reflect on yourself too. So I like to play nice and put myself in his shoes or on his position to work together, and then we can create a better environment at our work. Back to you, Stephen. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. So your story told me not being judgmental, huh? Before you know a person, like go put yourself in the shoes of the person. Okay,
Yes.
thanks for the story. Krishna, are you ready for a table topic?
Yes, Stephen.
Okay, so my table topic for you is, could you share with us a story about your active listening? You know, listening with your whole body, or by active listening, you build connection, or for being empathetic.
Thank you, Toastmaster Stephen, and you given a very nice topic, that is active listening. So nowadays, everybody is thinking that one a transformational leadership. So transformational leadership, the person should have the active listening skills. So whenever you are given any lectures, some people will pretend that when they are listening, but nothing is going to their mind. So whenever you are giving the lecture or anything, you need to be very interactive. So that by asking some questions, people will be connected with your subject. So that's why active listening is more important. So whether the people are listening your story or not, you can identify that one with their body language as well. So the body language is is responding to your thought process, you can say that one, okay, people are really listening. So some of the topics people are can't understand. So you need to be look into this one audience, different audience is there, what is their level of understanding, and you need to be go sometime down and sometimes up also. So you need to be very systematically, you need to be teaching them. So after this, you need to take the feedback. So whether listening skills of the audience is perfectly or not, you need to take the feedback is the best method. Whether your teaching skills or your lecture is really benefit to the audience. So for all this one, transformational leadership is more important. So what is the transformational leadership means? The leader should have this collaboration, critical thinking, and innovation and communication. These are all the things is required to be best leader and best lecturer or best speaker, so that people will listen you very effectively. Thank you. Over to you, Stephen.
Thank you, Krishna. Thank you for sharing how to be a transformational leader. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next one. Who didn't take the table topic yet? Titan, are you ready?
Yes, Stephen.
Okay. People are saying empathy guide us for decision making. So can you give us an example or a story about how does empathy help you for your decision making?
How empathy helped me in my decision making. When I'm making a decision, I try my best to put myself in other people's shoes so that I will make sure I will not do unto others what I do not want others to do unto me, and vice versa. I would like to do unto others what I want others to do unto me. With this, I believe that we will have a balanced give and take and healthy relationships. Once I've heard that the richest people in the world, can you guess who are they? They are the givers. Second richest people in the world are those who can balance between giving and taking. And the third one, so the third in the position of the richest people in the world is the takers. However, the fourth one will be the poorest people in the world. The poorest, can you guess who are they? They are also the givers. So how should we make sure that we give to others, be compassionate to others, but we do not want to be the poorest, the fourth in the position? That is to surround ourselves with people, with the givers or those who can balance between giving and taking. So do unto others what you want others to do unto you. And I believe to do that, we need to insert our compassion in whatever we do, including in decision making. Thank you for this reminder for me. Table topic master, Stephen, back to you.
Thank you, Titan. That's my first time to hear this poor people and rich people. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Next one, do you want to take one?
But probably we can give to Mike Cho first, and then I do next.
Okay, Mike, would you like to take one? Mike, you there? I think maybe he went somewhere.
Okay, then. Me, Stephen, me.
So empathy differences between sexes. What do you think about that? Between male and female.
I heard something in the past story. This priest actually talking about male brain and women brain. It's like the Mars and the Venus. How they work very differently. But in the same time, it's also like spoon and fork. It can be very complementary. So sometimes we have very different in the way we think, but when we really listen and being very supportive to each other, it can be very good in the result, especially when we do it compassionately. Because most of the time, we don't need to do anything. We just need to listen to how they feel, what they think, and probably give a little, like you just said, I like that active listening by doing only with the body language. I also still I also learn this. And yesterday I was in a conference, and the big lesson learned is I was surrounded with people who is very welcoming, very positive in vibe, very patient, all the word that they say, uplifting. And when this morning, I chew everything slowly, and it started coming out from my mouth, just being very sincere, saying, oh, that's really great. Oh yeah, I know her, she's good. I feel it's not just for the person who listens, but also for me, very liberating. So between men and women, just being very positive, and we are good. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Ayu. That's very unique perspective. So, and the sincerity is what needed. I agree with you. Do we still have time, Ayu, for another one, or are we?
We still have a lot of time. We can go like another about 10 minutes.
Okay. Tiger, would you like to take one?
No, I don't like this one. I don't even know the question yet.
So, being kind. So tell us about your story of being kind, the way of being empathetic.
A story about me being kind or empathetic?
Yes. Yes. Do you have some kind story or you don't?
I don't have any stories about me being kind or empathetic. However, I do have stories about other people being kind and empathetic. Yasmin, look at her. She's going, yeah, I can relate to that. In my Toastmaster journey, I have met many people, and many of those people are here who have been extremely kind to me and extremely empathetic. I have a past that is not very pretty, and in Toastmasters, I've been accepted fully. I had an experience recently. I was doing a speech contest, and I reached out to several people who have been very successful in speech contests. And like Sarah was saying, they gave me time. They took time out of their busy life. They don't even know me. Listened to my speech and gave me feedback. that is phenomenal to me that they would volunteer, and these people are highly skilled and highly in demand. I have met hundreds of people in Toastmasters these last few years, especially with the pandemic, and I'm just always amazed at how much time and energy people put into this and how kind and empathetic people have been to me personally. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Tiger, for sharing. You reminded me how I joined RSS and how RU was helping me, like doing my speech. She spent about 2 hours, maybe something of her time, helping me with my speech. So I was, yeah, that's really a story of being kind. Okay, next one. Who didn't take it? Yasmin, you wanna take one?
Only if you give me the same question you gave to Tiger.
All right, you got it. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. So I would like to just start sort of stealing the sentence from Tiger that I don't remember instances where I have been kind to other, but I do remember I have had met people who have shown kindness from places where I have never ever expected or imagined. I would like to in particular mention there are several examples, but maybe just two which are very recent and are fresh in my memory. So I went to Jordan, and I was not expecting the weather to be cold. I was traveling in the same region from United Arab Emirates to Jordan, so I expected around 30 degrees and 40 degrees. So I did not use the available knowledge on the internet and went there with my t-shirts. And then I was very cold. I did not have the advantage of language, so it was not easy for me to just go and buy from any shop. I would not even know where the shops are, but somehow I managed. I was like happy spending first day in Petra, being a little bit cold, like trying to find ways to warm up, a cup of coffee, etc. But in the evening, I stayed in a hostel, which is like a very economic place, a budgeted place. I did not stay in a very fancy place. And I was happy that there is a blanket. So I went to the receptionist just to say that I'm happy there is a blanket because I'm very cold. And the person who was at the reception looked at me and said, "So you don't have anything to put on? No sweatshirt, no jersey?" I said, "No, I just came." He said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah, I don't have anything." He went inside and he bought me a jacket. And he so much insisted that I take that jacket. And the jacket he offered me was almost 5 times of the price I paid to stay in that hostel. I was so resistant and reluctant to take that jacket. I was like, I cannot take it. I will manage to have another next morning. But he insisted to the extent that I had to accept it as an offer of hospitality. And this is just one example to say that you get kindness from where you have had least expected. So kindness has to do nothing with money and has nothing to do with power and education. I can keep on talking. I don't care if the symbol goes red, but yes, I have to give it back to you, Stephen, on that.
So the guy offered you a jacket for free? Wow, 5 times the hostel. Wow. You met a sweet guy. Did you contact him later? I was just wondering the falling off story, actually. Oh, okay. Do we still have time? Are you?
Yeah, we still have like 5 minutes.
Okay. So let's give it to Jerry, our Toastmaster.
We still have
chance.
Michelle too, Stephen.
Michelle, yeah, and also Michelle. So Jerry,
Yeah,
people see empathy helps to reduce burnout. What do you think about that?
100% correct. Why so many people feel so burned out, so stressed out in today's world? Because they felt isolated and have been left out. Nobody cares them. They just, they are struggling. Maybe they do like their work. Maybe they have a very, very poor relationship with their family members. But in one word, nobody understands them. That's why they felt so burned out, because they think nobody around them can understand what they are thinking, what they are feeling, and they are sacrificed too much. Nobody cares them. But empathy is focused on care somebody, focus on keeping connection with somebody, with the people around you. Take for example, when I felt stressed out, if somebody come to me, hey Jerry, what's going on? What's up? What happened? How can I help you? Even if I am in very, very low emotional situation, I still felt very, very comfortable. It will soften my anxiety. This help me out. So the conclusion, empathy help eliminate burnout. 100% correct. Back to Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Jerry, for sharing your story of burnout. I also resonate when you see people come and just to say hi or how you feel. All right, so last one goes to Michelle, our Toastmaster mother in RSS, right? So Michelle, your topic is, can you give us a story how you make an effort to understand others?
Sure, and you better empathize with my wearing these shades because my eyes are all puffed up. I'm feeling very compassionate for myself. That's a great question, though. Man, that would require lots of speeches, because I think most of my life, that has been my mantra, to seek first to understand rather than to be understood. So I've always strived to be empathetic and to be compassionate to others, especially those who rub me the wrong way. Because, hey, if you like people, if they do things that you're happy with, then you don't have to try. I made a mistake early in my life, and I was married to somebody who was, you might say, not a very good person. And it would be so easy to just focus on the bad things he did or said or did not, he was not considerate. But then I really forced myself, I would bring myself to put myself in his shoes and think, okay, if you were raised this way and you didn't have a really happy childhood and you didn't have a happy adolescence, and there were no role models for you, maybe this is how you would be reacting. And so instead of pushing back or showing aggressiveness or hostility, I think my favorite phrases back then, my default phrases were, "It's okay, I understand." I would probably do the same thing in your position. I would do that. And this was not just for a few days or a few weeks or a few months. This was for a few years. But I think constantly striving to show empathy and compassion, I wouldn't say he became a really good person, but I think over time, he also started to be less aggressive and less antagonistic. So the empathy and the compassion helped not just myself, but also the other person. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Michelle, for sharing. And I agree with you. Being empathetic can have impact over other people. And maybe the people will be changed because of you are being empathetic. And thank you, everybody, for sharing your stories. It was a wonderful session. And all these stories, most of the story I resonate. And thank you so much for sharing. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster Jerry.
Wow, Steven, you are so fabulous. Fabulous topic, fabulous question, and fabulous answers. Very, very deep dive about empathy and compassion. Very cool. So next, let's welcome our general evaluator, Yasmin. It's up to you now.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. I'm very happy to take you all to the evaluation and the feedback section, which is the most important section for any Roseburg meeting or a Toastmaster meeting. I have my first evaluator here, who you heard recently is Michelle, but this time I'm sure she has some fantastic points for our first speaker, Sarah. So Michelle, please take it over and provide your feedback.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. And thank you, Sarah. Wow, well, to start with, it is a pleasure, a physical pleasure to listen to your voice, and then even more so to see your face. It is just so, especially early in the morning, it is such a beautiful sight to behold and to hear your voice. And especially this morning, because you started with a question and then you said, well, it wasn't really a question. You made a statement, but then you did this gesture, which I really love. You're like, So your voice, your vocal variety was asking a question, and then the gesture you had. And you did that, I think, twice again throughout the speech when you would pause and ask the question. The topic was close to my heart, and you presented it really well. You created a little bit of a dichotomy. Is it time that's important, or is it skills? And then after showing us or sharing with us your research, and you mentioned 3 organizations, and you found out that it's 90% generally volunteers with no special skills, but they give their time, and then 10% professionals. I, who have been a volunteer for most of my life, learned something. I was saying, yeah, that's true. That's true. They do create this balance of X% volunteers and a certain percent professionals. And I was thinking about various organizations, and you actually brought it back. As I was thinking of Toastmasters, you brought it back to Toastmasters, and you said we are volunteers at Toastmasters. So in terms of meeting the objectives, absolutely, because the objective of this speech is to research and present a well-prepared speech on whatever topic you researched on, and you did that. And more so, you did it in a very engaging fashion. Just a couple of little areas for improvement. It might have been nice to maybe mention 1 or 2 other sources other than Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is, well, it's not as considered inferior now to research sourcing, but still maybe one or two other sources. Especially, I know you're a very good, resourceful person. You could maybe have cited one or two other more, shall we say, professional or reputable sources for your research. And then maybe when you talked about the percentage and then maybe the dichotomy, one or two slides might have been really good. But hey, it doesn't matter because you're so gripping to watch that it was okay without the slides. So those 2 points might have made your research speech even better, but as it was great. I always enjoy listening to you and especially having the chance to give you feedback. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I am sure that the points you made, the speaker would consider, so Sarah would consider to incorporate those, but I do understand that they are just additional supplements in case the speaker would like to experiment with. And knowing Sarah, I know that she would not hesitate to do that. Sarah, I would particularly like to mention that in your speech, you presented examples, your own examples of how you have had the journey through VPR, VPE, and different roles. And that helped us actually visualize and connected us instantly. We could actually grasp the idea very well through those cases, personal instances that you shared. And thank you so much, Michelle, because you exemplified how an evaluation could look like. We start with the positive comments about the speaker. We talk about the strength, but having said that, we have to have some suggestions or sort of challenges thrown at the speaker, which they could consider, and a conclusion towards the end. So wrapping it up. It was a good model of how an evaluation could look like. Let me invite the next role player, and I would like to invite our counter to please come on and share the report. So Titin, are you ready?
Thank you, Yasmin. Please allow me to share my counter report. Sarah had 1 and 1 so. Jasmine had 2 ahs, 2 and 1 repeated word were. Lauren had a few long pauses. Heidi had 1 long pause. Krishna had 1 ah and 1 Yasmin 2 Jerry 1 I myself are still working on reducing my filler words. So this awareness will hopefully provide added motivation to cut out filler words from our speeches. That's all from me. Thank you. Back to you, GE, Yasmin.
Thank you so much, Titin. Really love the report, and in particular, the tone of your reporting was fantastic. Because towards the end, the way you said that it is, I'm also working, so you include yourself in your reporting, and also a positive sentence that this stands as a motivation to improve. I think I would definitely steal this idea next time when I'm playing this role. Thank you so much. I am next gonna invite our timer to just let us know how we were doing time-wise before I go to grammarian, because I do know we have a great game at the end. Yes,
Thank
are you
you, Madam
please?
General Evaluator Yasmin. I have put my report in the chat box. Everybody actually doing very good, pretty good. Only me, I see myself, I passed 5 seconds. Michelle on table topic passed 2 seconds. And Yasmin passed 33 seconds. And that's my report. By the way, Yasmin, one more thing. For the benefit of our guest, Lauren, the purpose of timing in Toastmasters is actually for us to be able to talk or speak in the allocated time. And it's very useful for us in the outside Toastmaster world, when we speak, we will be able to be concise and very good when, for example, if you are a speaker, then you maybe paid speaker, and they give us allotted time, 1 hour we want to do, we want to have our speech in that allotted time. That's why we learn here in Toastmaster. Thank you, Yasmin.
Thank you so much, Timer. We sincerely appreciate your putting the information in the chat spontaneously, so it helped all of us. And what I do appreciate is your realization that you did not perhaps introduce your role in the beginning, and noting that there are guests in the room, so there is never too late. Even if you realize it, whenever you realize it, we can just come up and explain. Thank you so much. Really love the idea, you. Moving next, I'm going to invite our much awaited grammarian. Please come on and provide the report. Tiger, please take it over.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. All right, everybody, unmute. Let's find out who is listening. Because listening is a very important Toastmaster skill. Here we go. Who said to be a volunteer, you need to be compassionate?
Sarah.
No,
Sarah.
Sarah, of course, Sarah. Yeah.
it was Jerry.
Oh, really?
And Sarah also alluded to it, but that was Jerry's quote. And in terms of compassionate, about half of you used the word actually, but everybody alluded to it. Everybody had the opportunity to use it. About half of you actually used the word. Okay, here we go. He went inside and bought me a jacket. Who said that?
Yasmin.
Yasmin.
Yeah, what a great story. Oh, I was listening to a man and he was talking about women and men's brains, and they are very different. Wow, what a concept. Who said that?
Are you?
Are you?
Yeah, it was
Are you?
IU.
Are you?
Just in case you were wondering, he actually documented, they were doing a study in monitoring brain waves. So it was very interesting. Volunteers are valuable not because of their talent, but because of their time.
Sarah,
Great point. And I want to say that everyone here, you are volunteering. You're volunteering to be here, and you all have talent. So thank you. Let's bring it on. Who said that?
Steven!
Yeah, someday Steven's going to develop some enthusiasm. We're working on him. I try to put myself in other people's shoes.
Heidi.
Sure.
Heidi.
There was actually 3 people that said that I got.
So Heidi.
And one was Titan.
Heidi,
Jerry.
Jerry.
And yourself. I think Tiger also said.
I don't think I did it.
I did.
Michelle.
I think
Teton.
Michelle.
No, Michelle, Teton, there's 4 of them. That was the most, you guys know I love idioms. That was our most popular idiom. We had a regular chat, nothing special. Who said that?
Interesting.
Lorraine.
Lauren.
said that.
Lauren.
Perfect,
Lauren.
perfect.
Yeah.
We found out we can work together to make a better work environment.
Heidi.
Very good. Body language. Who said the word body language? It was used quite often today.
Michelle.
Michelle,
Stephen. And me.
Krishna, and
Rashnu.
you.
Oh,
Ah.
okay.
Be compassionate for people. I've learned to be compassionate for people that rub me the wrong way. Another great idiom. Rub me the wrong way.
Michelle.
There we go. Very good, everybody. That was fun. In terms of grammar, most of you are speaking English as a second language. Here's what I suggest. when you are speaking, keep your sentences short and simple. And the other thing is think about how you would write it. Because most people that speak English as a second language, in my experience, write better than they speak. So if you can think, how would I write this? And then speak it like that, your grammar will be better. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Grammarian. And on your last comment, I'm thinking if we are going to start doing it, and particularly me, timer will have a problem. Timer already has a problem for me exceeding 30 seconds. But if I'll start thinking, how will I write? And then I'll have to master the skill to still be on the time. But a very interesting point for all of us. Thank you, Tiger. Sincerely appreciate it. Okay, I believe I have covered all the role players and no one is left. If not, it's perhaps time for my report. I would like to first begin with the table topic master and do it in the reverse order. And I actually want to congratulate Stephen for not only picking up an absolutely wonderful series of similar questions, which helped the speaker already know a little bit that it is going to be related to empathy, but the context will be different, like, also thinking it in our own personal life and stories. So very interesting style, Stephen. I was so pleasantly surprised with your comments, so much so that towards the end of every speaker, I was waiting like, what is the nutshell, the summary of this that you are going to give us back? You did it so well, Stephen. Not that I don't know you are a wonderful speaker, but it is that first time I realized that you could actually summarize in snippets so wonderfully. So a couple of suggestions for you, Stephen. It would have been so much better if you would have posted the question first and then asked the speaker, because then it's like we all would have stayed alert at the question, not knowing if it is going to be us speaking, and would have even started thinking about the question. So just a piece of advice: next time, put the question first and then identify a speaker. Second, Stephen, second suggestion, though I did not miss it very much, but is that you could post your question in the chat just for a sort of help to the speaker. But I repeat, the questions were very simple, so we did not actually need it, but it is really useful. So next time, if possible, do consider also to have it in advance, copy paste it and put it in the chat. Besides that, Stephen, you pleasantly surprised me today. For the Toastmaster of the day, Jerry, wow, this is your first role as you join us as an officially RSS. Absolute applause for that. I think you already see people are applauding. Wonderfully done, Jerry. You ran it very smoothly. No hiccups during the meeting, no glitches. We knew the transitions were smooth. We knew that these are the sections that are going to come through. So I think you really did a very good justification of the role. One advice that I would have for you is perhaps to adjust your camera so that we can also see you well on the screen. Perhaps just Heidi, Sarah, Stephen, even Tiger today gives a good representation. So yeah. So as a Toastmaster of the day, if we would see you more like, if you will, it's just that it would just pass on a more enthusiastic energy across the screen, because as a Toastmaster of the day, you have the role to just keep everyone uptone and excited. So just with this, besides this visual presentation, no particular feedback for you, Jerry. You did a great job. For all the table topic speakers, I believe that they challenged themselves very well. They tried to actually narrate the stories, thanks to also the topics that they were encouraging to formulate stories. But having said that, I think we were all crisp. But just in case for I have a specific comment for Ayu just because I noted this for once or twice now, that Ayu, I have experienced a longer pause before you start. I think it's second or third time I experienced this. So I think 30 seconds or more, but then it feels as if little longer. So if you could just formulate your thinking and coming up. I do know that we have 30 seconds before speaking, but just in case you noted this. But having said that, I raised this point because I want everyone else to know that we do have 30 seconds buffer time and we can utilize it to formulate what we want to say when we have to use and speak for table topics. Thank you so much. This is from my side, and I would like to really congratulate everyone in the room for a wonderful meeting. It started very well on time. All the role players were there in advance, not in time. The VPE is not here, but I would like to send the congratulations to him for setting the agenda very well. One point of remark, Ayu, I have seen you have, but I would just like to make one note to everyone that we have 2 to 3 speaking slots and we should make use of that. So if I have to give as a feedback to all our members and everyone here, let's use the slots for speech. We could have 2 speeches set in the agenda. Ayu, I give it to you. I see you had a raised hand.
Sorry, Yasmin. I just want for all of us to say happy birthday later on. If you would like to start it, Kevin's birthday on the 20th of May. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I give it back to the Toastmaster of the day. My report is over. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Yasmin. It's a very, very perfect evaluation. You have already given everyone point out their strengths and but also give them what they do to improve. I think this stage, this section is very important for Toastmasters because we are here to practice, but we also want to improve. We can better ourselves step by step each time. Your evaluation is very important for me, for Steven, and for everyone participants. That's very good. Okay, I have to move to next. So hand over to our president. It's still Yasmin, right?
I love this part of coming back again, but thank you. I would just like to utilize the 2 minutes we have for getting a feedback from our guests. And yes, we cannot forget Lauren. So Lauren, please do us the honor and provide your feedback.
Thank you. I really enjoyed this group. You emphasize evaluations a lot, which I appreciate because I can't learn without feedback. So it's good to see a club emphasize that. And I enjoyed the energy and not taking yourself too seriously. It's a friendly environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. And you rightly indicated feedback are so important and we so much value your feedback. I think it's absolutely on dot as to what you said. We are really relaxed and warm club. We are very professional, but at the same time, we do it in a very warm family, close environment. So thank you for pointing that. And we would be very, very, very welcoming you to our meetings. We do meet every week, same time, using the same Zoom link, and you are more than welcome to our meetings as many times as you can. Heidi, would you like to provide us your feedback, please?
Hello, it's been a while to come back. Yeah, and all of you are like an old friend. I come here. I know each of you, and then Like I feel really relaxed here. And then especially like Yasmin, your general evaluation was really thoughtful, and then so lot all covered everyone, and your voice made me feel so calm. You're so friendly and nice feeling, but when I hear you're talking. Yeah.
Thank you, Haley. I want to say the same to you. It's so nice, cool, like sort of, soothing to hear you. And your smile is something that we really admire. And please visit us as many times. I know it's a little late for you all, but we sincerely appreciate all of you here. With this, I would officially adjourn our meeting, but do stay around. And I want to, before I close, I want to also convey the thanks to the senior most guest who did not mention himself as guest today. It's Stephen. And I think all of us here are otherwise members. And I sincerely thank all the members as well. Please stay around us. Yeah, are you? I can
want to say happy birthday, Kevin. If you see this video, we want to say happy birthday.
Okay,
Happy
let's do it
birthday, Kevin.
together. 1,
Okay.
2, 3. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Kevin, you are
Kevin-
missed. We hope to see you very soon.
Kevin's birthday is May 28th.
No,
May
his
20th.
birthday was, what was it, Friday, I think?
Oh, okay.
Or
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm just gonna officially adjourn our meeting.